night. So hopefully you're all having a good weekend and enjoying the weather. It's beautiful weather here in Michigan, so I got to get outside and enjoy the day. But I'm gonna talk to you guys tonight about natural ways to help yourselves get better night's sleeps and to help yourself fall asleep. Because I've been having trouble sleep all this week, so therefore I've been looking into how things that I can do for myself. So I figured I'd share with you all. One of the ways you can do it is for drinking. No, not alcohol, even though I do know that you can drink a ton of booze and that'll easily help make yourself pass out. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about tea. You can get yourself, I think it's chamomile tea, and there's there's other teas out there. If you go to the grocery store where the teas are, they all say sleepy time on them, or sleepy teas. Any one of those will be fine. Avoid green tea. That one has caffeine in it. And I think there's a couple other ones out there that do have caffeine in it, and they probably say it on the box, so avoid those before you go to bed. There's the old one we've all heard before, warm milk. I've never done it before. I don't really have any intentions of trying warm milk before I go to bed. It's not my bag. Not getting into that. So you can go with that. Other ways you can do it. There's always exercise. The only problem is that a lot of people, if they go to the gym, let's say late at night, and they want to go home and go to bed, your body releases a bunch of endorphins in you, which causes a chemical reaction to help you stay awake. So the problem is that effect lasts for too long. So therefore, when you go home and you shower, you eat up, and you're ready to go to bed, you might be ready for bed, but your body's not ready for bed. It's got too much energy pumping through it. So therefore, if you try to do exercise before you go to bed, I would plan to do exercise maybe 2, maybe 3 hours before you go to bed. That way the endorphins and the adrenaline have enough time to cool off and cool down. Your body has time to relax. So that's how I would do that. I have other friends who easily can go to the gym and they can work out and then they go home, eat, and then go pass out right out. So everybody's different. So you got to figure that out for yourself, how you want to go about doing something like that. The other way you can do it, I used to do this, is using melatonin. Melatonin does work great. The only problem is that it does become addictive. Not in a bad way, but it becomes addictive where you have a hard time being able to sleep without using melatonin. And that happened to me. And it's a bitch trying to get your body to go back into its normal routine of your body's own natural producing melatonin to help you fall asleep. So if you use melatonin, I'd say try to use it as little as possible. I do know it comes in different milligram sizes. There's 3 and 5 and possibly even a higher one. I highly recommend you go with the lowest dose possible. I used 3 milligrams before, and I've used 5 milligrams. 5 milligrams, it is when you wake up the next morning, it's like you got hit by a fucking bus. Your body's super out of it, you're super lethargic and groggy, you're kind of like a zombie trying to get out of bed. So therefore, when I used 3 milligrams, it was still it definitely knocked you out and you went to a deep sleep. But then the next morning you had a hard time getting up. So therefore, I'd recommend, if anything, maybe get a 3 milligram tablet, break it in half, try that out for size, or just test it out on the weekends and see how you feel. Because it's powerful and it does work, but it's a bitch to get off of and stop using. So just so you all know, if you do use melatonin, try to use as little as possible, and hopefully you don't become what's the other word? Not addicted. You depending on melatonin to do the job for you, because you'll just never have the end of that. So other options for you, is staying cool or cold. There's tons of articles and research to talk about having your room be a cold area, and for that you want to keep it between, more so it's recommended 65 degrees to go on its lowest. I'd say if you get your room even just to be cold, let's say even 70 degrees, that alone will do the job for you and you'll be fine. Colder the better, because everyone knows you can always make yourself get warmer. So if it's too cold, an extra blanket. Problem is, if it's too hot, you can't make yourself get colder. So colder is better for falling asleep. Last one that I recommend everybody is dark rooms. Like, I have like a room darkening shade in my room, and if you don't have one, I don't know how the fuck how you sleep through it. You want to make your room just be dark lit as possible, because like the next morning the sun comes up. If the sun comes up and wakes you up at like, let's say 5 a.m. and you only got 3 hours of sleep and you're trying to get 6, having that sun come through, it's not going to go away. So get a room darkening shade that will drastically help you. Last one that we all fucking like can't get away from is our phones. Stop using your phone like 30 minutes before you go to bed. If you can avoid all technology 30 minutes before you go to bed. If you can, that'll make it way easier for you to fall asleep. I've gotten to the habit where I read before I go to bed. So turn everything off, lights off, everything. I'll sit down and I'll read for even 15, 20 minutes. Even if it's just like a few pages out of a magazine, it's still just reading. It takes my mind off shit. And I don't have the technology in my hand where I'm browsing through social media and crap like that. So there's some tips for you guys on maybe on how to help yourself fall asleep, stay asleep, and ways you can improve on it. So I hope you liked it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.